You
Good
watched.
evening. Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Hogs Media Podcast. I think it's been about 2 months since we've done one. I think our last one was actually the reaction to the Tennessee game, and now we come back to you, and we are done with the regular season of football, and we just concluded Razorbacks versus Miami. So here's our live reaction. What are your thoughts, feelings after that 3-point victory tonight?
Dude, it's hard. It's hard to watch this team because there's so much individual talent. It's crazy that we can't turn it into team talent,
Oh yeah.
I mean, any one of our starting five, pretty much, I mean, DJ, Boogie, Adu, Thero,
Mhm.
John L. Davis. I would take any one of those guys in a one-on-one matchup against anyone in the country. You know what I mean? Like put them up against anyone and they're gonna do great. You know what I mean? They're freak athletes. Most of them, most of the time, can shoot inside and outside. I know DJ's kind of up and down on his three-point shooting. Uh, but again, same with Theo, not necessarily great at three, but still like inside, outside, physical, like good, amazing on-ball defenders. But I mean, two games in a row now. I mean, we had Illinois a few days ago and in Miami now where it's just not clicking. We look lost out there. Like so many times a game, guys are like kind of look, wait, what just happened? Like there's
Very
no backside help. There's
disoriented.
no rotation. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I agree fully. I saw multiple times tonight where the passes were just awful. Our guys are in the corner. I don't know how many turnovers we had tonight where it was just a kick out and just a miscommunication, like multiple times in the first half where we just threw it out of bounds because our guy was either cutting or they were sliding down in the corner and we just throw it out and we like it just we weren't connecting.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I mean, we started the game. Our first two possessions, we literally just threw the ball out of bounds.
Yeah, it's
It's
ridiculous.
like I get it. It was like a guy cut right as you're about to pass, but like that's that thing, It's like that team. Like where's the chemistry? Like, how do you not know? Like, and I don't know, man. There's so many things to try to diagnose. It's like, where do you even begin? Like,
It looked like game one out there for us. The way we were playing, the way we were throwing away passes. And dude, we can't guard anybody. I mean, we got lucky tonight. I'm glad we survived. Like on a positive note, we did pull it out. But they almost shot, I'm looking at the stats right now. They shot almost 50% and hit 9 for 29 from three. Pat killed us, Cleveland killed us, Blackman killed us. I mean, we
yeah.
can't guard, and that's going to be an issue when it comes to SEC play.
Oh, dude. Right now, there are so many SEC teams that would feast on us. I mean, Auburn would beat us by 30. Kentucky, as much as I hate to say, would probably beat us by 20 right now. Alabama would beat us by 15. Tennessee would beat us by 20. Like, it would not it would not be pretty. And it's not like it's like, oh, we have four more games before SEC starts. Like, we've got Michigan coming up. And then we have, next week's, two games and then another couple games, and then we have the holiday break, and then bam, SEC play starts.
And I'm looking right now, and it's a gauntlet to start. We start off with the number three team in the nation, Tennessee, at Tennessee, January 4th. Then we have Ole Miss at Bud Walton, Florida at Bud Walton, and then it kind of trickles down. We play LSU at Mizzou. But those first three games, I mean, like you just said, we play Michigan next Tuesday,
Yeah,
and then we kind of got a bunch of mid-major. But I mean, yeah, it's like you said, we got time to figure it out, but we really don't.
right. We don't. I will say, like, the things that are the glaring issue from the game before, we have improved on things, right? Um, like against Illinois, that the little pick and roll or the pick and pop,
Mm.
like they got probably
Oh, they
14
feasted.
off of that, for probably 35 or 40 of their points. They were easy. This week it was like, okay, it's better. We're not getting beat every single time on a pick and pop or a pick and roll. Instead, the adjustment that we made was like we just did solo guarding um on the post, and then like that guy feasted instead, and like the guy from Miami like just went one on one against Adu. He went one on one against Brazil, and he went one on one against Z, and feasted. And then Nigel and then that guy Cleveland just kind of like came out of nowhere and just I don't even know what he was doing. Like he just wasn't getting boxed out. He was just being more energetic, more physical, like getting put back slams, like crazy stuff. Nigel's just a good player. I mean, he did what he's gonna do. But even then, like Boogie didn't have any like backside help defense. There was a couple times where Boogie was trying to like press up on his man, try to get a steal, try to get something going. Nigel, got around him, which that's not like horrible defense. It's just
No.
kind of like you're maybe being a little aggressive, but when you're down 8, when you're down 7, it's like you got to kind of do something. But then as Nigel got like past him, there's no one on the backside, no one in the post, no one on the wing, like cutting down, no one to cut him off. So there's like multiple times where like Nigel, Pack was able to just get like a layup straight to the goal. But yeah, man, it's so
Yeah.
many things.
Yeah. So you're right. We did make adjustments from the Illinois game. That's very evident. And like you just pointed out, our just straight up man is not very good. We can't keep a guy in front of us very well right now. And then our help defense is, like you said, atrocious. Z had a monster block at the end. That was a great example of help defense. But other than that, like you said, they could drive and kick all night. I mean, there were so many threes they hit.
Yeah.
There's a drive and kick, and we're jumping and we're flying all over the place because we are so athletic. But it's just little things like that that teams, like you said earlier, will just eat us apart because they're smart. That's just not a smart basketball play.
Yeah. Well, you could see it. You could see Miami on these multiple times when like Thero tried to get in the lane, he was met by a crowd of 3 guys. When DJ tried to get in the lane, he was met by a crowd of 2 or 3 guys. When Boogie tried getting in the lane, he was met by a crowd of 2 or 3 guys. Like it was not easy. Like we had to like pay for every bucket that we got tonight. I mean, we had to earn it. Um,
And that's how teams
we
are going to guard us.
do what?
That's how they're going to guard us from now on because they know we can't shoot very well.
Yeah, yeah, we got, oh my God, we have to get the 3-point game. We have to get it going, especially early. Like, we can't keep having these like starts to a game, 0 for 4 or 5 against Illinois. And then tonight, like again, same thing, kind of just started out super cold, got down fast off a few bad possessions. Like, we have to start like hot, I mean, that can set the momentum for a whole game.
Yeah, it it wasn't good for sure. Yeah, and there are positive signs it's getting better. John L. Davis hit three threes tonight. I think Boogie hit a couple. Z hit a couple, and I just now saw Z wasn't healthy tonight. Big Z was not supposed to play a ton, so for us to get anything from him was huge tonight. Who else hit three? Boogie hit four tonight. Donnell hit three. DJ hit one, and Z actually hit three. So I mean that is huge right there. But we need more consistency from we need one or two from Thiero.
Yeah.
DJ's got such a sweet stroke. I wish he would shoot the ball more. He's got the best shot on the team.
You think DJ has the best shot on the team?
Like form wise, his shot is pure, like form. Boogie has
Really?
good form. I
All
think
right.
I would say so. Big
I feel
Z's is
like when I
pretty
watch him shoot, it feels like a little like it feels like there's like a little bit of a like weird,
like a hitch.
almost like he's like thinking about it too much. Like I feel like Boogie and Jonell, when they shoot a three, it just like looks good coming out.
Well, that's yeah. They just have no hesitation. John L. shot looked great tonight because he had no hesitation. I think DJ, like you said, thinks about it and is like, should I take the shot? And he just needs to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
He took 12 shots tonight, which is what we need from him every game.
What I would love to see from DJ, he's obviously a great player, but he kind of does a little bit. It's not as bad, but he does a little bit of what Khalif Battle would do last season, where once he decides like I'm gonna get to the rim, he just, I mean, he'll plow through a crowd of four defenders and somehow get a layup up, and half the time he gets it, so you can't say anything, but you're like, dude, just kick it or alley oop it. I mean, so many times this season, Brazil or D has been right on the other side of the rim, and DJ's taking on three defenders for a crowded layup, and it's like, dude, float it right over to those guys and give them an alley oop. And that happens, honestly, that happens a lot. Like our big guys are not getting the passes that they need to on the inside.
Mm-mm.
Tonight we saw it like once. It felt like Thero was kind of pushing the issue. I don't know if you remember. It was probably like midway into the first half, and it was Jonas Adu. He went up and he set a screen, I think for Boogie. It was either Boogie or DJ, and then he rolled to the basket and was wide open. And then Boogie just passed it to Thero up on the like top wing, and Thero just like immediately just like whizzed it into Adu
Oh
down
yeah,
at the
yeah,
open, and he got the dunk. And it kind of felt like almost like dude, like pass it to him. Like, what are you doing? Like he's wide open. And then like literally I don't know, like 4 or 5 plays later, same exact scenario, but we didn't get the ball to him. And then a couple plays later, same thing, but like it was late and or like low and like threw it at his knees,
I saw
so he
that.
couldn't
Yeah,
get it. And like it's just like, guys, these are the easy ones, but our guards are I think they're still just like getting their head down. Not like I'm sad, but just so like I put my head down and making this thing happen. And it's like keep your head on a swivel, keep it up. There are open guys a lot, you got to find them more. And I think like yeah, I think some of our young guards, DJ and Boogie especially, just like sometimes want the ball. It gets stuck with them a little bit.
yeah. We can get in the habit of iso ball really easily, is what I've seen. Like you've said, we just want to. Boogie wants to take over, and that's great. I mean, he did tonight. He hit two clutch shots. We need that from him. But yeah, I get stuck with them sometimes. And the like you said, the ball movement on some plays were great. You know, swing to the wing, dump down pass, bullet. It like in the first half, it happened 3 times. I think we got dunks off it, and they tipped it, and we threw it low, like you said. But we're slowly getting there and learning. I saw much improved ball movement all around on offense tonight. You know, we swung the ball instead of Boogie. You know, in the earlier games, he would dribble too much and then take a bad shot, contested shot. But now we're swinging it. John L's getting it. DJ's going. We're definitely getting better on offense. Now defense, we just got to keep improving because let me get this straight. Miami is not a good team. You know, Nigel Pack helped them tonight, and they looked better than, and it was at home for them, but they are not good. They just lost to, I think, Charleston Southern or something like that.
Yeah, they're coming off a 4 game losing streak. We've made it five for them. Thank God. Uh, but yeah, no, they're not
They're
yeah,
not
they're
the
not
Final Four Miami from a couple years ago.
no,
It's just
no,
not the
definitely
same team. So, you know, it is good we survived. We'll say that, you know, last year we wouldn't have won that game for sure. And, you
right.
know, even the Muss years, you don't know if you're going to win that game because it is early in the season. And, you know, his teams really didn't get hot till February. So that's
Yeah.
probably a loss any other season. So it's good to see our guys fight back, keep battling. You know, a lot of the times in past seasons, we would have just shut down. We would have just gave up. You know, Miami was up 10 multiple times on runs, put back
Yeah.
dunks by Cleveland. They were going nuts.
Yeah.
And, you know, our guys never stopped.
It's true, and we answered
Yeah,
multiple
every
times.
time.
You know, especially like the final 10 minutes of the game, there'd be a time where Miami would hit a three and go back up by five or back up by six, and it was like and then like literally the next possession, like I remember Z hit like that get back 3 pointer, like kind of near the top of the key, and it like they had just gotten up by five, and it felt like, uh-oh, maybe they're gonna get momentum. And then like Z immediately hits that and it's back to two. And then there was like another time as well. I think one of the 3 pointers that Boogie hit where it was like Oh, that was a payback three. Like someone had just hit it in his face. I think it was like
Yeah.
Pack or someone, and then he just comes down in the next possession. He like hits it back, and or it was John L. Anyway, so yeah, I was like, okay, that's good to see that. Like, yeah, we're not letting a 3-pointer from the other team like take away our confidence, but it's like, oh, okay, yeah, like we can match that, we can hit that, like we're good. So that was cool. That is good to see. That's something that especially last year's Must team. We had no shot. If we needed to make a 3-pointer, we couldn't pay enough NIL money to make a 3-pointer last year.
Yeah, that is for sure. So, I think we're getting there slowly but surely. Jonas Adu finally got some more minutes tonight. He started. How much did he play?
What did he play? Like 10
Or I thought he
minutes?
started, but he played 12. So I think he played 9, 10 Illinois. So
Yeah.
he's slowly,
You can feel the difference when he's in there. You know,
he's
you can
much more
feel it.
aggressive.
He's
Much more.
more aggressive in the post. He maintains discipline, especially on offense, like well, and on defense. Like he just maintains like post and like
He gives us a true post presence.
yeah,
Z doesn't, Z will score occasionally in the post, but he's a stretch five. He wants to shoot the ball. But
yeah,
Adu does not want to shoot. He's back to the basket, hook shot,
yeah.
old fashioned big man, and that's what we need on this team right now. And so hopefully by that Michigan game, he can get up to maybe the 20-minute mark. Maybe that's wishful thinking, probably 15.
Yeah, I'd love to see. I think they had a couple minutes together, but maybe not any. But I would love to see what Brazil does at the four.
Yeah.
I don't think he feels very comfortable at the five, and honestly, he's not a five.
No, he's a
Um,
stretch four for sure.
that's four for sure. But like with Adu being out and Z being our only other option at five,
Yeah.
Brazil's had to play a lot of the five. So I'm curious to see what can happen with Brazil when he's able to get more minutes at the four with Adu at the five. If he can kind of hit some corner 3-pointers, if he can, you know, get the ball at the wing and drive to the basket a little bit, or maybe get some backdoor cuts. Because the 5-man is usually the screener up top. He's not a super great pick and roll like option, but he's a great like backdoor cutter, you know. So as the pick and roll is happening up top, he's like cutting under, behind and can get
Yeah.
the things like that. Um, yeah, it was good seeing Davis be a little more active tonight, not just in shooting, but like there was a few times where he brought the ball up the court. There's a few times where he actually like went up to the top of the key and like asked for the ball. It was like, yes, do more of that, AAC Player of the Year. Like, do more of that. You are our most like well-rounded individual talent on the team. Like Boogie
For
probably has a
sure.
higher ceiling. DJ maybe has like some more raw athleticism, but Boogie is like, dude, you're a 4-year starter at a Final Four team, Conference Player of the Year, a preseason All-American. You can shoot, you can drive, you can dribble. Like we need you like to take a little more leadership. Go get the ball, like take control a little bit.
Yeah, he's getting there. His presence, he's definitely taking more of a leadership role. And there was a couple plays, even building on what you said, where he hustled for a rebound. I don't know how many rebounds he had tonight, but there's hustle plays that you might not have seen a game or two ago because he was letting his shooting affect every other aspect of his game. He had 5 rebounds tonight. He
That's
had
nice.
he was tied for the lead with Brazil. So John L leading the team in rebounds or tied for it is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean the team can only get better from here. We have good
Yes.
individual talent. Um, it was nice to see the rotation tighten up a little bit, especially in the second half. Love Carter Knox, love Billy Richmond, but like if the first 7 games of this season told us anything, it's they're just not quite there yet. Their decision making at times is really suspect. Their versatility on offense is pretty suspect. You know, neither one of them hits the open shot from farther than 15 feet ever. I think Knox is 1 for 20 on the season from 3-point, something like that. Like it's an insane stat. If you have that, his season stats, season totals for
So he was 1 for 15, and then against Maryland Eastern Shore he went 3 for 8, and then he hasn't shot a three since.
so he's four
So
for
he's
three.
4 for 20 pretty much.
Yeah,
And he's open. That's the thing, is he's wide open, and maybe he's just getting his confidence. It's a different game from high school. Billy Richmond has shown flashes. I will say that. I've been impressed with him. He is a hustler and he can get to the basket really well. He can't shoot, like you said. He's not a good shooter at all.
yeah,
But that's not his game. That's not what he's being asked to do. He's being asked to get to the basket and score,
yeah,
and maybe
yeah.
hit an occasional mid range. That's it.
Yeah, I like Billy. I think I've noticed Billy gets lost on defense quite a bit. His on ball is again really solid. Like he can lock a guy down, but there's a lot of times where he gets confused on whether it's the switch or the stay or the help or the rotation. And there's a lot of times like if you look, I also wanted to show there's against Illinois, not Illinois. And not Maryland Eastern, the one before that, whoever that was.
Who
Um, do what?
say I'm gonna look who it was. Before we played Maryland Eastern, it it was Little Rock. Yeah. It
Little
was
Rock. Yes, that's right. So if you watch the Little Rock game, there's I think there was six defensive possessions, maybe five, but I think there was five or six defensive possessions where you ended up seeing two guys, two Arkansas guys, defending the same player, and there was a guy with the ball wide open that got a free bucket. Every single one of those plays, Billy Richmond was involved. So I don't know that every single one of those times it was his fault. Like it's possible that the other guy was supposed to rotate and or switch, and Billy like stayed with the correct man. But I'm willing to bet most if it's like, what's the one common denominator here? And there's two guys ending up on the same guy and not like an intentional trap. It's a like, oh shoot, we both went with the same guy and left that guy open.
wide open. Yeah.
Billy was in that play every single time, and I was like pulling my hair, and I'm like, what is happening? Um, so yeah, anyway, he's getting better. He's working to improve. I like his energy. I like his spark. Um, but yeah, sometimes it's like like what we need right now is like good decision making, not just like energy. Like case in point, kind of the microcosm of Billy in like one play. This is maybe being a little unfair. I'm just angry right now because Miami almost beat us. That play where the inbound pass where he jumps up, makes this like awesome interception, breaks free into the open court, and then bounces it off his knee right before he goes to like make a dunk or a layup. You're just like, oh, like you brought the energy, you brought the spark, you brought like this good momentum, and then you dribbled it out of bounds, and we got a turnover from it. Okay, like
It's yeah. It,
yeah,
it's it's the experience of a freshman.
yeah.
But I think that covers basketball pretty much. So moving on to football, another historic loss to Missouri that we should have won. I mean, every year, man, every year we
How have
figure
we
out
never beat them in Columbia?
we just figure out some new way every year we go to Columbia to lose. And this year, I mean, turnovers. I mean, golly, dude, turnovers over and over again, and then just we're missing simple passes. And Singleton transferred yesterday, and that hurts, man. I hate that because I'm not fully confident in Talon. His passing ability is very iffy. He's not
Mhm.
very accurate, and he's a really good runner. We know that, but does he fit Petrino's system? Because in other news, Petrino took his name out of the Charlotte job today.
Yeah.
So it looks like he's coming back. Who knows? But it looks
Yeah.
like it.
There's gonna be some Power Five job openings though coming up here.
Power four. Remember the
That's right,
Pac
Power Five.
two is gone.
Hey, Pac-2's coming back next year with Boise State and Gonzaga and Fresno.
What? Gonzaga? No way. Gonzaga's not even D1.
Isn't Gonzaga joining the Pac-12?
No way. It's got to be. I think you're right. You're right about French. Let me. I don't think
I could have sworn Gonzaga was joining them.
maybe in basketball. Let me look.
Does Gonzaga even have a football team?
They do, but well, okay. The non. You are right. The non-football school will join the Pac-12 as a full member. So I thought they have football, but I guess they don't.
Okay.
So it'll be Boise State, Colorado State, Fresno State, San Diego State, and Utah State will all join. And they're looking to get like Memphis, South Florida, Tulane, and Texas State.
So no, not Gonzaga.
And Gonzaga. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, and Gonzaga. Okay.
But it says non-football.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
But
It's
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, I football, it's just so frustrating. And then Pittman officially is coming back. And there was a lot of speculation about that. Everybody's already talked about it, so I don't want to go super into detail. But what are your thoughts or feelings about Sam Pittman coming back? Do you think he deserves another year? I mean, we improved, but 6-6 with how our schedule really was is not.
Yeah. Seeing, something that like really just mm, adds like an extra like dagger to all of this is seeing how Oklahoma State's season ended.
Oh, it was
Three
three and
and
nine.
nine, and they lost 56-0 to Colorado. 56-0. That's what an SEC school puts up against a mid-major. And that's
Oh,
what Colorado did to Oklahoma State. And I'm sitting there going, we lost to those guys in overtime. We are one of their three wins,
and we
which
blew
means
it.
their other two were
Trash.
were there with their mid-major like teams that they beat. Uh, it, so no, I don't think Sam deserves it. Um, his contract stipulated that he earned it, you know, which is it kind of like just goes to show like when you're writing it into your coach's contracts of like, oh yeah, if you just make a bowl game, you get a contract extension. It's like, oh, so that's our goal. Like, and we all know that to be bowl eligible, which again, I think bowl eligible is BS. Like, I think they should make bowl eligible 7-5. Like, if you're not winning, if you're, you know what I mean? Like, if you're not better than 50%, if you're not better than 50-50, like, you don't deserve a reward for that. It's like you lost as much as you won.
Yeah,
So why are you getting another chance? Like, again, it's about the money. Obviously, the sponsors want more games to be played because more fans attend and they, charge tickets. But
it's
yeah,
frustrating.
so he got the bowl game. Honestly, if we had beat Mizzou, I would have been like, okay, I
Yeah,
don't love it, but like 7-5, and if we win the bowl game, 8-5, like two, and that would have been two top 20, top 25 wins, beating Tennessee and beating Mizzou. I could have like walked away, like and like okay, and we would have been 50-50 in the SEC, right? We would have been 4 right? Seven. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. We would have been 4-4. We beat Tennessee,
Auburn,
Auburn,
Mississippi
Mississippi
State,
State.
and the Mizzou. So like, okay, 4-4 in literally like the most insane conference with losses to Ole Miss, who's like top 15, Texas A&M, who's top 20.
Could have
Uh,
won that game. Should have
could have,
beat A&M.
yeah.
And
Um, I
LSU we got destroyed by, and they ended up being what like 7-4 or 8-4 or something like that.
think 8-4 is where they finished. Yeah, if we had gone 7-5, beat Mizzou, finished 4-4 in conference, I would have been like, okay, like under a first year offensive coordinator, kind of a rebuild year. We lost a lot of guys last year. I wouldn't have been happy, but I wouldn't have been offended.
Yeah.
But instead, I'm like, who's gonna show up next year to game one? Like when kickoff comes around for game one, who's gonna be like, Yeah, we're excited for another season of football.
That
Like
that's been the whole talk everywhere going around. Like all the fans, all the media around is like, where is the excitement for next season with Pittman coming back? Like, this year the excitement we got Petrino, Talon, everybody was excited, ready to go, and then this year, it's like where do we go from here? It's just the feeling of like I don't even know how to describe it. Just
yeah, there's no optimism. I think that's another
yes,
thing about like losing the Mizzou game. If we had won that, it would have felt like a little bit of like, okay, ended on a high note. Can we carry that over again? Not that that carries over 9 months
but
later,
like we
but
finally got over the hump in a way, or
yeah,
one of the things in our way. We finally got over that.
finally got over that hurdle, beat Mizzou in Missouri. Like, but yeah, like not even doing that, it just kind of like makes you go into next year just kind of like, all right, like, do I really want to show up?
Like there's no play. Like Sorry coming back is huge. That is a big Camball, huge. But like, there's so many question marks. Is Taylor the answer? Who do we get at wide receiver? Armstrong's gone. Tesla's gone.
Strong.
Broden's gone. Armstrong. Oh, Armstrong! What a player! What a great pickup.
Yeah,
Tesla was solid.
yeah, Tesla was solid. Love, I mean, honestly, love what
Broden wasn't what we expected, but at least he was out there.
he was there. He was out there dropping balls.
Uh, and there's rumors that Luke Hot or has whatever might transfer. I hope not.
I hope not, but when you are
When
as
you have
highly
25
touted
catches
as
on the
he
year,
is, you're getting 3 targets a game, like if that even has he even averaged 3 targets a game?
oh, I
Like,
think he, I think he legit had like 25 to 30 catches on the year. I don't have the stats pulled up, so that's yeah, maybe
yeah,
3 targets, 2 catches a game. I
two, yeah,
mean, that's just ridiculous. He's a top 10 tight end, top five in the SEC. His
yeah,
talent is that high, and Talon. That's one of my biggest issues with Talon. He is a one read quarterback. It was Armstrong or nothing. And then half
yeah,
the time he threw it behind Armstrong, and Armstrong had to make amazing catches, or, you
yeah.
know, he turned a 4 yard gain into a 20 yard gain just with his ability. And we won't have that next year. So can you trust Taylor Green to make the throws he needs to? I don't think so at this moment in time. Now, I'm not saying he can't get better, but do you bring in somebody to give him competition, or do you just go get someone and maybe Talon transfers out? That's the question. Like, where do you want to go? Because Petrino loves him. It's Petrino's guy.
I mean, maybe now having 9 months to work with him, so Petrino's
Yeah.
like here, if assuming, hoping, praying that Petrino stays. Talen's already here, lives in Fayetteville. Like maybe they can work on stuff in the off season, like figure out how to make more reads, figure out how to check down faster, figure out how to throw a pass where a receiver will eventually be open, not waiting until they're wide open to throw it, and by then you're getting sacked or running out of the pocket or the receiver's already at the sideline. Like
How to be a
just so
pro style quarterback, pretty much,
yeah.
not
Yeah,
a scramble or spread quarterback. That
yeah.
doesn't work in the SEC. Plus
No, not
Romans.
not if you want to win more than 8 or 9 or
No,
8. Yeah, I don't know, but like who do you go get, right? Because it's like we're going up against like all of the SEC to try to grab these players, and so it's tough, it's
and
competitive.
that's why losing Singleton hurts so much is because his passing ability showed flashes. I mean, he looks like the better passer. Now, running ability, probably not so much, but that's not what we need.
Right.
So, losing him with 3 years of eligibility hurts. And we have KJ Jackson, who redshirted, I believe, this year, but he's not ready, I don't think. I mean, who would be? I mean, he's 18 years old. But
Yeah.
that's the thing. Do you go get somebody from like a mid major, lower school? Or I mean, who do you, like you said, who do you bring in? It's tough to tell right now because nobody's really announced they're transferring. There's Miller Moss, but I don't think so. Wegman from A&M. A couple others have said they're going to transfer, but it's like nobody's standing out, or it's like, is he going to be better than Talon?
Yeah, I'm no idea. We'll see. I think it'll be Talon again next year, because it's like you have a guy who has won 6 games in the SEC. He's proven that at least as an athlete, he can hang in the SEC. He can make enough things happen with his legs against SEC level defenders and tacklers that like that's valuable. He knows the system. He's sat under Petrino now for a year, and again, assuming Petrino's back again, like he's not having to learn a new playbook or learn any new plays. Like he knows the system. So like if Talon stays and Petrino stays, that's gonna be the combo again. Like it'll be Green in a Bobby Petrino system. And I do think he will be markedly improved. I
Mm,
still don't think he'll be a top I still don't think he'll be a top 5 passer in the SEC, but he could be like the number 6 or number 7, best passer in the SEC. And then you add his legs. He is, in my opinion, the number 1 runner for quarterbacks in the
I would say
SEC.
so, yeah.
I mean, who,
He was already fourth in passing this year, yards wise. Now, completion percentage, I don't know I mean, let me look at it real quick. But yards wise, he was top five, but I mean, Bobby Petrino likes to throw it a lot.
yeah, I mean, obviously turnover ratio is a big thing. Um,
Uh, it was 60%,
6%, I mean, that's
nine
fine.
interceptions to 13 touchdowns, and I don't know how many fumbles.
That's a problem. Yeah, and he had a lot of fumbles this year. So I
So
mean,
there's several fumbles. So I mean, I can't find, but I know he had at least three or four. So he had 12 plus turnovers, and it's just he cuts down on that. He has potential, and if he can just develop his throwing, he has so much potential to be a top quarterback. There's no doubt about that. I know I've sounded kind of negative, but I know he has potential. It's just when he misses throw after throw, it becomes frustrating.
yeah,
And they're basic throws. I mean, they were wide open throws.
I know. I mean, in the Mizzou game, how many like there was multiple plays, right? And it was snowing, the conditions were weird, but there was a couple where like literally your guy is wide
Yes.
open and not far down the field. I mean, we're talking like an 8-yard pass, a 10-yard pass across the middle, and you're like, dude,
And maybe they just say for the bowl game, let it fly, whoever we got out there. No one's opted out yet, but I'm sure when it gets announced or when it gets closer to time. That was the thing people were saying is let Malachi Singleton play in the bowl game. And that's not gonna
not gonna happen now.
so I don't know, is there even a point to playing Talon? Say we make the Birmingham Bowl against whoever. Do you play Talon just to get that bowl win, or do you let KJ Jackson go out there and say, "Hey, let's see what you got. You don't lose your red shirt."
Yeah.
I mean,
You
I
know,
know Pittman obviously wants to win it for his job, but does it really prove anything if you beat Memphis in the Birmingham Bowl?
right. Yeah. I don't know.
Those are the questions that are left unanswered for right now, and so many more regarding basketball. And hopefully, when we join you guys back for our next episode, we have some answers to those questions.
Indeed.
Thank you guys for listening, and we appreciate all your guys' support.